Sojourners here, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take this opportunity to plead with the public, to plead with my brothers and sisters out there.
Now, there's a myth floating around that doctors say just needs to be squashed. Just because you're young doesn't mean that you won't get COVID-19 or have complications from it that could land you in the hospital.
Over 30% of them have severe lung damage, the same kind of damage that we see in people we hospitalize.
Our positive rates continue to rise. We are also seeing younger people, the younger population, being infected. As 10 Tampa Bay reporter Leah Fernandez explains, COVID-19 doesn't care how old you are.
One of the myths is people think that I'm young, I'm healthy, I can't get this disease, and that's just not the case.
There's been a shift in the age group testing positive for the coronavirus.
Now we see patients in their 20s, 30s, and 40s that we weren't seeing back in March and April.
Yes, statistically speaking, you have a better chance of surviving this virus or even showing mild to no symptoms if you're younger. But that doesn't mean you're immune to it.
We cannot play the game of statistics because we do see young people getting extremely sick, young people ended up in the ICU or sick enough to go to the hospital.
Last month, Sarasota Memorial reported the majority of their patients were between the ages of 25 and 45. 11 of their patients were even under the age of 25. Doctors say this trend is continuing in July.
From the intensive care unit, we are seeing a decrease in the mean age. It used to be that patients were in their 70s and 80s. Now we have 2 patients in their 30s. I had a 19-year-old.
More proof that the virus doesn't care how old you are. Plus, doctors still don't know what long-term effects coincide with this virus. There's a lot still unknown, like why is the age of those it's affecting getting younger? Doctors say it's not just because millennials are the ones congregating at bars and parties, but also because those 20, 30, and 40-year-olds are the ones going back to work at restaurants and stores.
This is a population that's most at risk. And if people are not wearing masks, well, obviously they're going to be exposed to folks that are coming in not wearing a mask, so that creates a more dangerous environment for them.
And if that's not enough to make you think, take a look at this. Look how far a cough can spread when wearing a mask versus not wearing one. Those particles in the air, that's what's spreading COVID-19. So all of those doctors you just heard from are saying the same thing. Everybody has a responsibility to do their part to help stop the spread. We're talking about wearing a mask, washing your hands, and limiting your interactions with groups.
Florida has opened up its economy. The governor has opened bars and restaurants and all that. And young people are flogging into parties, flogging into bars, and they're having fun. I just want to plead, please, from a nurse's perspective, your life is more important than that drink you're going to have in the bar. Your life is more important than that social gathering that you want to attend. Please remember that it's not just you who's getting affected. The older people that are getting affected. I am in the ER and I'm seeing it all. It is rough. You might not know the effects that COVID-19 have on you now, but believe me, it has long-term effects. If you look at those CAT scans for the patients that have had CAT scans done on, then you will see that indeed the CAT scans, the imaging looks terrible. And who knows how your lungs are gonna be affected 10-20 years from now after you catch COVID. If your lungs are so inflamed and they're looking at glass, if they get hardened, so what becomes of you 10 years down the road? If you think you're Superman, what about your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, then your neighbor who is an elderly person? They talk about 200,000 dying. That might not directly affect you because you've not lost anyone. As I speak to you right now, my mother is in the IMC with COVID. I'm here in the ER taking care of patients, but my mind is with my mother. It is rough. It is dangerous to take this thing lightly. It is dangerous to go out there and think that the world is normal again. We have to take precautions until we figure this thing out. Wear your mask, keep your social distancing, avoid parties, avoid large gatherings, and if you must go, please wear a mask. The nurses are in desperate need of support in terms of staffing. Most nurses are transitioning out of nursing. And those of us that are left behind, we have to pick up the labs, we have to pick up the excesses. So it's no joke. So I urge everyone out there who doesn't wear a mask or who undermines COVID-19, take heed now that you can. Because when it affects you, it might be too late for you to turn back the hands of time. Thank you. Sojourners.
Yes.